Yeah, that's what I like to see in our cheerleaders. All right, first up, we have Daniela Dragomir with Community from Survival to Choice. Daniela.
Imagine lining up at 6 a.m., hoping that the store will have milk, yogurt, or if you're really lucky, butter. Imagine having to whisper in your own kitchen because you didn't know who might be listening and report you for something you said. That was my childhood. I grew up in Romania under communism, and community back then meant one thing: survival. But even in fear, people found ways to connect. Families worked together to hide livestock, or we made 𝗘𝗟𝗏, our version of moonshine. And if a neighbor spotted a delivery truck, they will knock on your door. Quick, line up, they've got rice. And sometimes salami padded with soy that smelled so questionable, you even wondered if it was food at all. But hey, it was still protein, and you'll do the same for your neighbor. But there was another side of this closeness: conformity. I grew up hearing over and over, what do people say? When I dressed a little differently, or I had a slight disagreement with a teacher, or, God forbid, my grades weren't as high as the neighbor's kid. My career choices were doctor, engineer, and you guessed it, lawyer, so I became a lawyer. But no one ever asked me, what would make you happy? So I grew up both comforted and wounded by this community. And you too. Maybe you opened your heart to your community only to feel rejected, judged, or that you didn't fit in. And you might have closed your heart. But I think that is a mistake. And I'm going to tell you why. When I first came to America 23 years ago, I quickly discovered that I didn't know how to fit in here either. When people will ask me, how are you? I didn't realize they wanted a quick reply. So instead, I enthusiastically gave them my life story. Well, let me tell you, that's not how you make friends in New Jersey. But over time, not only that I learned to reply with a quick, good, and you, I've learned that community is a choice based on trust, connection, and shared values. But I wanted something more, and my spiritual practices led me to a yogi community, which introduced me to the most important community of all, the human community. Beyond religion, beyond politics, beyond nationality. You see, fear is what separates us. It might have looked like back in Romania, fear brought us together, but the connection was only surface level. We are in survival mode. We didn't have the availability to discover who we truly were for one another. So the yogi, they taught me that there is nothing to fear, not even death, which is simply a transition to a higher form of energy. So when we release fear, then there is nothing to fear. There's nothing to separate us. And we can open your hearts to love, to trusting one another, to helping each other, not because we have to, but because of who we are. At our essence, we are one. And you too, don't let the wounds of the past, of the times when you felt rejected, that you didn't belong, judged, separate you from others today. In fact, I urge you right now to open your hearts a little wider and think of a person with whom you might not have spoken to in years because of different political opinions or clashing values, or maybe they once dared to tell you the right way of how to raise your kids. And think not of what separates you, but of what you have in common, because you do. At our core, we are truly one. And when we live from that truth, we not only survive together like we once did back in Romania. We thrive together.